All right, take two. You gotta love Facebook. Let's see. Why is the screen not split though? Let's see. All right, as soon as he jumps on, we're going to be talking about Brian Meara's gel journey experience. Here he is. Perfect. So, just going to go see.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's still like crazy horrible feedback.
What? That is so weird. Let me try and put these in. Hold on 1 second.
It's so weird, Facebook. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Any better? Hold on. Let these things pick up here. How's that?
Even without talking, it's like robotic sound.
It's so weird. Hold on 1 second. Let me see.
Now he's frozen. I don't know what happened to him. Well,
How's that? Any better?
oh, it's perfect.
I swear I've done so many of these lives and I just can't figure it out. Like sometimes if I have these AirPods in, like whatever, microphone, earphones, whatever, it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And I don't know why. I don't know.
It's technology. I've stopped trying to figure out why. I've done so many Facebook lives, and I like last night I couldn't get this girl to jump on, and then I was
Yeah.
able to jump on hers, so it didn't make any sense.
Well,
But the good news is you're here, and I'm super excited for you to share your story. I think
sure.
people who've been paying attention to me know that I've been, and I don't talk a lot about it, but my gel journey, and I sort of started on this journey in February of last year, and I think maybe
Yeah.
you kind of were introduced to it right around the same time, or maybe a little bit before I was, but it's definitely transformed my physical and financial life on many levels. And so I would love for you to share how it has transformed yours.
Yeah, so I actually started on the product of December 27th, right? So it's been a year, I guess maybe almost coming up on 14 months. I used the product for almost about 2 months until I decided to look into the business aspect of it, right? And that was for really a bunch of reasons. I was very busy doing a lot of different things in real estate and a lot of things going on in my life. And frankly, I wasn't really sure it was going to work, right? I didn't want to kind of risk my reputation and talk about something
Right.
because back then there were no testimonial pages. There weren't thousands and tens of thousands of people raving about it. Like nobody knew it was like what it was, right? So it's funny because the guy who introduced it to me, I actually know from, he's a friend of the family, but through real estate because he owns a title company. And he's telling me, hey man, I know a guy who knows a guy, one of those stories, right? And there's a startup out of San Francisco. Yeah, you always got to be careful when they start like that, right? But especially in New Jersey. But I said, okay, and I was just really interested in trying the product. So I literally just bought a bottle. I just wanted to try it, and I guess it was about 3.5, maybe 4 weeks in, I noticed when it started working for me. Some people, it's funny, Jessica, some people instantly, oh, 3 nights in, I'm sleeping better, and well, not me. It took me almost a month. But it was cool because I'll never forget two things happened. One night I had these vivid dreams. It was actually more of like a nightmare. You know what I mean? They talk about like remembering your dreams and vivid dreams. And I was in this hot air balloon and it caught on fire and I'm falling down to the ground. It was kind of crazy, but it was pretty vivid to say the least. But it had to be a day or two later when I woke up and my left knee wasn't like real stiff and sore like it had been for years. Between 2009 and 11, I had 3 surgeries on my left knee. One of them was a
Wow.
major ACL. Yeah, one of them was a pretty big one, a major ACL reconstruction. And I did the physical therapy. I did everything they said, and I could walk. I mean, they fixed it, but it was never the same again. And I could run, but if I went for a little run, I would literally limp and not be able to walk for a few days. And so I just figured, all right, well, no more running, no more skateboarding, no more snowboarding, no more really doing anything I like to do. And when I woke up one day and it wasn't that real tightness and the stiffness was gone, I was like, man, this is weird. And I gave it a few more days and then it just got progressively better. So, and in that same time, in that now going out about 6 weeks from when I started, I lost 7 pounds without trying. Like, I mean, no change in diet, going to the gym, same
Wow.
routine, right? And I'm trying to think what else. Obviously started sleeping better, energy, lost the 7 pounds. And I always tell people the mental clarity is what kind of really did it for me. Being so busy and all the different businesses that I run, just this crispness, like this, not a caffeine type jitter, but just a mental sharpness. And I said, maybe I should look into the business side of this. And I did that on February 13th. So it literally just passed a year,
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, for me, I was incredibly skeptical. I think that you said this is kind of like your first run with the network marketing company. Is that
it
correct?
is. It is.
Okay.
Well, for full disclosure, when I was 18, I was an Amway distributor. I think we all were at one point in life, right?
I think we've all been an Amway distributor at some
I,
point.
I got out of high school and my uncle was selling it and he's like, hey, Bry, I told him I was going to go to college. It was the summer, literally right after I graduated high school. And he said, hey, listen, you can get in this business with me. And, a few weeks later, I got products in the back of my trunk all loaded up. And needless to say, I was young and I didn't really know what I was doing. It didn't really work. So in my adult professional life, yes, I've never done this before.
Okay. Yeah, well, for me, I grew up with Amway. I grew up with network marketing, so I have
Okay.
always had a great passion for it. But I've tried a lot of products. I've tried a lot of different companies. And over the last couple of years, I've just come to find out that I wasn't really interested in selling consumable products. But what I really discovered is that I don't want to sell a product that's a me too product, something that somebody else has. I don't want to convince you why my CBD oil is better than your CBD oil, or my supplement is better than yours, or why you should pay $20 more. And so when this was presented to me, at first I was like, you know what? I'm not interested in selling another consumable product. But then I was like, wait a minute, HGH, what is HGH? I didn't know anything about it. And so when I actually looked into it, I was like, wow, if this product legitimately works, it's probably going to be one of the biggest products I've seen hit the marketplace in the network marketing space. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you found that to be true for you on a financial level as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, interestingly enough, I do know a lot about HGH and I came into this knowing quite a bit for two reasons. In 2010, my son, I have triplets. I have three 16-year-old boys. And one of them, they were always different sizes. So they weren't identical, right? So I always had a small one, medium, and a bigger one. Um, and so, but the smallest one at the time really noticed when he was 10. So going back 6 years that he wasn't growing. So we took him to the children's hospital and they ran all the tests. Turns out his pituitary gland just wasn't working. He had an underactive pituitary and he was classified with a legitimate growth hormone deficiency. So they wanted to
Wow.
put him on the injections growth hormone. And at the time, I didn't really know anything about it. I just assumed growth hormone. Isn't that what the bodybuilders take, or isn't that what all the Hollywood celebrities take? That's why they don't age. That's all I knew, or thought I knew, right? But when they said they wanted to put him on injections, I was concerned as a father because I thought, well, if it's going to make things grow, what if he has cancer inside of him? Will that make
Right.
cancer grow, right? I mean, I don't know. Just try and put two or two together. And because
Right.
I'm a cancer survivor, so going back to my story of Amway, I wasn't involved more than 2 months when I was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. So my Amway career was cut short, needless to say, right? But
Right.
and for a year of my life I dealt with that, and that's a whole nother story for another day. But the point being, it was a big concern of mine. So we got not two but three different opinions, and I did all the research on Dr. Google that I could do back then, and found a few things out that even with the injections, full strength injections, that there's never been one direct correlation where they can point to the growth hormone and cancer. It's this myth, it's this concept that some doctors even have subscribed to, like, well, it could cause this, but it's never been proven. And when it's
Right.
monitored, and every 3 months he sees the doctor, he gets his blood tested, et cetera, et cetera. It's never really proven to do anything. Now, again, if you abuse it like anything with these bodybuilders and these big meatheads, you want to swell up to 350 with 4% body fat. Well, things may happen, right? But this is a 10-year-old little boy who just needed some help with a legitimate situation. So a year later, when I had that ACL reconstruction on my knee, the surgeon at the time said, hey, Brian, you can go on growth hormone. I said, oh, tell me about it. And because now I had a frame of reference for my son, right? Here was the problem, Jessica. At the time, it was going to be $1,600 a month out of pocket because it wasn't covered by insurance. And I'd have to take
Wow.
needles every day, take a needle. So I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to take needles every day. And that's kind of
No,
a lot
thank
of money.
you.
So no, thanks. So when I heard, getting back to your point, when I heard that this growth hormone was available in a gel, over the counter, no prescription, no needles, registered with the FDA, I started thinking, wow, A, I want to try it, right? See if it's legit. And B, if it works, I think that this could be a multi-million-dollar opportunity here. And honestly, it's the exact reason you say, all I've done in real estate, and I created courses, and I've run coaching and mentoring companies, and, spoken all around the country on stage in the real estate world. And so I tell you that because I've been approached by every pyramid, right? Every network marketing company under the sun. Because people are like, oh, he knows a million people. If we could only get him in, right? And I said no to everyone. Literally, my whole adult life, I've just never been interested for the reason that you're saying. I didn't want another Me Too protein shake or just another CBD or another this or that or other. And by the way, a lot of them are great products. I help a lot of my
Yeah,
friends.
and I'm not downing any of these
No.
products either. I buy a ton of these other products, and I actually market some other products too.
Yeah,
So
I since in the last year, I've signed up as a quote distributor in probably 5 or 6 different companies just to get the products at a wholesale cost and to help my friends. Now that I understand the industry, not building over there, but it made sense, But here's the point,
right.
and this is what I thought was really interesting for me. When I considered that it was an exclusive product that nobody else had access to, that was a big, big thing. When I figured out it worked, that was huge. But here's the biggest one. Being as busy as I am with all these children, with all these different companies, I said, I don't have time to build a network marketing business, regardless of how good and exclusive the product is. Why? Because my frame of reference, I was thinking 1993 Amway. I thought I'd have to load up my garage or my basement or my car with product. I thought I'd have to go to weekly opportunity meetings in hotels. I thought I'd have to go do home parties and demonstrate products, all of which I have no interest in doing. So when I found out that you don't touch product, it's a virtual remote business that you build with your phone and Facebook, I said, wow, anybody can do that. And
Right.
that for me was the turning point. And it happened last February. It's funny because if I don't, you can go on YouTube, or you can somewhere down on this page, or on my personal page rather. I made my very first video talking about this on February 13th of last year. And the last year has been insane. I mean, it's the income is I had no idea it would grow as fast as it did, and it's quickly surpassed everything else I've ever done in a passive residual way. So when you can earn literally a high 5 figures per week passively, it starts to get very exciting.
Oh, it's super powerful. And as you said, I think a lot of people have a huge misconception about what network
Yeah,
marketing even means. And so
yeah,
if we can shift their perspective, for me, it means buying local. It's all about, cutting out the middlemen and the big advertisers, and who better to buy local from than your friends. And
yeah,
so that's why, similar to you, I've signed up as a distributor in several different things just because I like to be able to make myself my own store for the things I love. However, I really only focus my effort on this business and one other business at this time
right.
because there is a massive earning potential in this, because we are at the beginning, what I believe to be a very massive trend in terms of just really teaching people how to take ownership of their own health and being able to do it so simply with just some gel.
Yeah, it's really. I wish I had a bottle. I have a bottle downstairs. It's like I always joke around with people. I'm like, here's this bottle, right? And literally, you have something that makes people feel better, look better, perform better, and the majority of this country has no idea that it exists. And that's, I think, researching this industry. I've been an avid student for the last year, and I'm really starting to see some trends. When I see that this company is 13 months old and did $120 million in its first year in business, setting all kinds of records, right? I heard it's like the second fastest growing direct sale company out there. Then you take a look, there's over 1,000 doctors on board now, right? Then you take a look at the fact that we're still a new company. If you take a look at these Amways, the Herbalifes, there's a million of them, right? Most of them who succeed will hit 10, 15, 20 million distributors. It's with a country with 300 some million people, that's really not that many people.
Yeah.
So I've been told, and I'm understanding that when we hit critical mass, being conservative, Jessica, at 10 million people, the first 10% are considered the early adopters. That's a million people. We're not even at 100,000 yet. So like we're literally just people like, oh, is this one of those ground floor opportunities? I said, no, we're in the basement. We haven't even gotten to the ground floor yet. Like
Right?
literally, it's that new, right? So it's exciting. It really is.
Oh, and I have people like now who are like, "Oh, I wish I'd gotten in when you did," and I'm like, "No, you don't."
No, no,
Like,
no, no.
not when we had issues with customer service and we ran out of product. Now, like everything is running seamlessly, and now is probably the absolute best time that you could take advantage of this opportunity, I
I
believe.
I really think so. You know, there's a couple different groups of people that I'm working with. There's people obviously that are brand new that are just coming on board, and that's great. Because of the timing, like I said, you know, million being early, not even at 100,000. So it's still very early. Second thing is growing through the growth pains and the challenges of a startup that goes viral. You know, I love telling the story that this product, it's a guy who's just a scientist. He's a product formulator. He's been making this stuff for 15 years. So maybe this distribution channel and company of New Life may be new, and in fact it is a year old, a little over a year old. The product's not new. It's been around for 15
Yeah.
years, you know? So this isn't like we're not a bunch of guinea pigs with this. It's been around for quite some time. It's had the FDA registration for 8 years. So we're kind of well past that. But when you unleash it to the world or the country like we did a year or 14 months ago, and it does start to pick up that viral nature, yeah, they couldn't keep up with manufacturing. So we ran out of inventory. So we were stuck like, wow, is this company going to survive? Like they can't make enough product. But then if you stop and think, isn't that a beautiful problem to have? When you have a
Oh,
product
it's
so in
amazing.
demand that they can't make enough of it, right? So we got through that, have the new manufacturers, never run out of product again. Of course, customer service, they built out the whole system. So yeah, congratulations to you for sticking around, because I know, and myself, right? Because we went through it. But it's just exciting, you know, and we're in a great place. I think that 2019, you know, it's going to be a real launching pad. And so for all the people that did stick around and go through that, and especially for the brand new people coming on board who don't have to experience that, it's going to be a great year. You know, I have no doubt it's going to be a great year.
Oh, it's already a great year. And yeah, I think that's a great point that you made about this product being 15 years old, because that was a huge selling point for me, because I don't really want to market a product that has a lot of sort of ifs about it, or like what could
Yeah.
happen if somebody tries this. And for me, I'm very holistic, and I
Yeah.
really love homeopathy, and this product is a homeopathic product. So, and I had posted this in my post earlier, but you know, the real medicine of the future is working with the frequency of your body to spark your body to teach itself, because your body is your greatest doctor. It already knows how to heal itself. You just need to give it the proper tools. And this definitely is one of those amazing tools.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I come from the exact opposite background. I knew nothing about homeopathy. And in fact, funny story. So when I first started using this and started talking about it, I didn't even know how to say the word. I was saying homeopathy. Like I didn't even know. I didn't even know how to say the word, literally. And in fact, when Joe told me this is a homeopathic microdose, I swear I Googled it. I didn't know what homeopathic even meant. I just didn't know. I heard the word before. I just didn't know what it meant. So little naive on my part, but you know, and now that I've researched it and I understand, it's exciting. You know, it really is, because I was sick, and because I've always, well, I think 2014. So at least for the last 5 years, I've really been very conscious about, you know, what I feed myself, what I feed my children, and really trying to get non-GMO products and everything organic as much as possible anyway, specifically dairy, meats, and vegetables and stuff like that. That was a big shift in my house about 5 years ago. Getting rid of anything with anything artificial, whether it's sweeteners or colors for the kids, right? And getting their organic treats and things like I didn't grow up this way. I grew up with Cheez-Its and Doritos and garbage, man. And don't get me wrong, I mean, they got to eat that stuff once in a while, I guess. But just having that shift of consciousness to really try and understand there's a different way to live, you know? And this product, I think that it seems to be the trend in our country, that people do want to be healthier. They do want to live longer, right? They do want to feel better. And we have something that'll help them. And again, they don't know it exists. And if we're in a position where we just simply share the word and get paid for it, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I think this really, and I like to call it the gel journey, because it really
Mm.
is a journey. It's not something that everyone sees immediate overnight results with. It's something that you really want to give a serious experience and try. So even 30 days to me is not a real
It's not enough.
experience. You know,
No.
you need to give it a 90-day try. And even then you reach your peak of benefits by month 6. So
Yeah. Well, you know, with the shots, that's funny you say that, because I'm working with an endocrinologist in Florida, as a matter of fact. And when you go to the doctor, if you choose to pay all that money and take the needles, you have to commit to a minimum of a 6-month protocol. Like you can't just say, well, give me the shots for a month, let's see what it does. You got to commit to 6 months. So why would a homeopathic microdose be any different, right?
right. No,
So
it's true. And I think, like you said, this really sort of begins people on this health journey because you have more energy to actually exercise and your mobility comes back. So you're capable of doing all these things that you've missed out on doing. I know so many people with chronic discomfort who, it limits them from all the activities that they used to do. And so therefore they're gaining weight, they're getting depressed, so losing
Yeah.
focus, all of these different things. So this really just has sort of like a domino effect in a positive way for your entire life.
It doesn't. And I was just thinking, there's two things you just reminded me of when we started talking about how people really have to give it some time, right? Um, I guess it was around month 4, maybe 4, closer to 5 months, let's say. I also have, I guess I still have it, but 2 herniated discs in my neck, C6 and C7, degenerative disc disease. In fact, it got so bad, but in 2015, I was on the floor for 5 days, and I guess I pulled it or did something. It was really bad, and I couldn't move. And I went to the hospital, and but long story short, they went to operate, right? And I didn't really want to get a neck operation going into the spine and all that. So option B was go see a chiropractor and pretty much manage the pain and learn about all the stretching and the exercises and live on a bunch of Advil, frankly, which is where I'd been.
Ugh.
And I didn't realize at the time, obviously, how bad it was for your liver. But the point being, I guess every day after like 2 or 3 hours, and this is where I noticed this. I do a lot of work on the computer and the phone, so my head is always down when you're compressing the nerve with your head down, right?
Right.
So I would get the pain down my trap muscle, and my fingertips would go numb, literally like the pins and needles, right? It would get numbness. And it was, again, closer, probably say 4.5, 5 months in, I noticed, I was like, wow, it's gone. And I don't know when it disappeared, but it just, and knock on some wood, it hasn't come back. And so it did take 4 or 5 months for that to happen. But, I haven't had a problem with my neck since. The pain has never come back. My fingers haven't gone numb. Did it regenerate the disc? Did it relieve the pressure, reduce the inflammation? I don't know what it did. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not inside of my neck. But all I know is I feel better, So it's pretty powerful.
Well, yeah, and for those who don't know, human growth hormone, I didn't know a lot, but it's your most healing hormone. It's your mother hormone, your master hormone. It controls all of your aging processes, hair, skin, nails, sex drive, sleep, joint pain,
Yep.
mobility, balance, vision, blood sugar, cholesterol, like you name it, it covers the gamut. But unfortunately, by the time we're like, I think puberty or 20 years old, you've reached your peak production and it doesn't shut off, but it just kind of diminishes over time and you're not producing as much. And by the time you're in your late 30s, early 40s, a lot of people are at elderly levels of it. And I think also because of the toxicity in our environment, I think people are even at lower levels of it at younger ages, even in their late 20s. I feel like a lot of people have a huge deficiency in it.
And, it's interesting that you say that, because when I was with Alexi, the founder, in, I forget when it was, what are we, February? I guess it was last month in New Jersey. We were talking about that. And a lot of people say the product is designed for people 30 years and up, because that's when you see the biggest drop off in your natural production of growth hormone. But technically, as soon as you're out of puberty, which for some people it could be late teens, early 20s, your body already starts to decline. So you're not making it like you used to. And that's why, even if you look in this country, Jessica, even starting in like mid 20s, if not earlier, people are gaining weight. People are getting out of shape. People are looking older. Like it's this thing. It's this epidemic. Let's not even talk about the obesity epidemic. But the point being that because it's such a small microdose, even people I'd say in their mid to late 20s would be a great candidate for what we have, because it's not just the HGH. I know we're running out of time, but one other thing I think is important
Yeah.
people know, it's not just the growth hormone. When you take your thyroidine, when you take your glandular support, the adrenal support, and then the whole, 19 or 20 whole leaf botanical herbs, the botanical blend, it's an amazing, amazing thing. And I always say this guy's either a genius or he got really lucky. You know what I mean? Putting this
I think it's
together,
a lot of both, probably.
probably, So it's cool, I just had
Cool.
my 74th birthday, and I don't look at it anymore. I don't really. So it's fun. I'll say one funny thing though. You see I got the salt and pepper. I got the gray hairs out now, and I always had them. I started coloring my hair just for men, just doing the shampoo, right? When I was, I think, 30 or 31. And I guess it was, I don't even remember, 6 months ago. So I just stopped using it. I said, hey, I'm just tired of dyeing my hair. I don't even care anymore. I'm 44 years old. Let's rock it.
Right.
And people are like, I thought HGH, we hear testimonies of people, their gray hair turning back to normal color. Why did it do the opposite for you? I'm like, it didn't do the opposite. I just stopped coloring it. You know what I mean? So anyway.
Right.
But my hair, it is a hell of a lot thicker. And you're right. I guess it's not a big deal, but I do have to trim my nails a lot because I don't know if you noticed that, but like my nails grow really, really quick.
Yeah, I know. I have a lot of people that complain about that. The horrible benefits of using the gel is
Yeah,
that you have to
too
cut
much
your nails
trimming.
a lot.
Exactly.
And one more point I wanted to mention too is that there's a lot of health nuts out there who take a ton of supplements, and what I didn't know is that if your adrenals are closed, which a lot of people are not functioning optimally, you're not even receiving the benefits of all the stuff you're pouring into your body. So
Yeah,
this product is really a protocol product that sort of helps everything else in your body get absorbed the way that it should naturally be absorbed. So
yeah.
it's beyond powerful. I highly recommend people check it out. If you're interested, I can post a video below. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I think
You're
it's
welcome.
definitely something that everybody needs to hear about, whether you're ready for it now or later. We'll be here.
We're not going anywhere. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much. Enjoy your Monday. We'll talk
I
soon.
will. Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks all
Bye.
for watching. Bye.